Thank you for staying with us. It was a sad reality as gunmen continued their streak of havoc in coordinated attacks on residents of Kaduna and Plateau states respectively, resulting in the death of innocent citizens. Recently in Plateau, the police command confirmed that gunmen attacked and killed 13 persons in some communities of Bokkos and Mangu local government areas of the state. Also, an attack was unleashed in Anguwar Danko community near Dogon Dawa district in the eastern part of BirninGwari local government area of Kaduna State. During the invasion, eyewitnesses said bandits started shooting sporadically to scare residents, and in the process, more than 20 persons were shot dead. Joining us from our Abuja studio is the President, CEO, Security Watch Africa Initiative, Security and Public Safety Expert, Patrick Agbambu. Patrick, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, thank you so much.
It's a sad development coming out of Kaduna and Plateau states. These two states in recent times have been facing some level of attacks that have now become a source of concern to a majority of Nigerians, even though we know that these matters are still happening across the 36 states of the Federation. Let's get your reaction on this matter.
Yeah, thank you. It's actually a very sad situation when any part of the country is experiencing attacks, and especially with these constant attacks happening in the Middle Belt, particularly Kaduna, Plateau, and Benue states, is very, very troubling. The last attacks that happened on the Plateau was about a month ago or thereabout, and there have been some relative peace owing to the intervention of the Nigerian Armed Forces. But this recent one, again, it's another disappointing commentary to the incident, and every well-meaning Nigerians and even the government should be worried about it. It's sad because my findings on this recent attack really is quite disappointing, because I thought that with the intervention of the military trying to broker interaction between the warring partners in terms of the natives and the Fulani in that area, I thought the peace at least would be long-lasting. But sadly, it continued because of the criminal gangs that are operating in that axis. And I just hope that the elders obviously seems not to be of help in settling this issue, because the youths have just taken arms against themselves, and it's very, very sad, the situation that is happening over there.
Yeah, it's so sad, just like you said, and the fact that it's not the first time we are having to hear about people being killed on the Plateau, as well as Kaduna State, and even in some other parts of the country. The last time it happened in Plateau State, the president called on security agencies, the security chiefs, to go after the perpetrators and ensure that that was the last incident that ever occurred. Do you feel that the government is not exactly doing its level best to ensure that these issues are forestalled, talking about intelligence and proactive actions in making sure this never happens?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that the government is not doing their very best, but I would say that I think they need to do more. Yes, they are trying, and it will not end in just talk. The military action cannot resolve the crisis that is happening, that we're experiencing now. Not military action. It's a political solution in the first instance. I think that if the government is serious about resolving this issue, I remember that the last government made a move about the local government autonomy. That is one of the solutions that will help to bring lasting peace to some of all these warring areas, where governance will become closer to the people. I think local government, the failure of or the non-existence of local government in the country today is majorly the reason why we are having all these breakdown of land orders, particularly among the youths. The Plateau incident that is happening in Plateau and that happening in Kaduna is slightly different. The BirninGwari axis, we are having outright bandits who, because of our porous borders, easily come into our territory and create mayhem in our society. That's, again, I believe that if we can tighten up our borders, and issue about census, trying to find out who are really Nigerians, because the Kaduna incident is majorly caused by foreigners who migrate into this country with the help of Nigerians themselves. The Plateau incident is caused within Nigerians and within the people. We know that many ethnic groups on the Plateau there has formed militia groups, carrying out reprisal attacks and counter-attacks and all that. This, I believe, a local government administration, an effective local government administration will help to resolve this better than we're experiencing right now. Other than this, then sadly nothing the government will do, even if the military keep on killing hundreds, and like they're doing currently, they kill so many every day, and yet more are still coming out. More mayhem is being melted on innocent citizens. So I think that government, if they want to be serious about this, there's need to empower and have a functional local government system. We need to be able to, the Nigerian Immigration Service should not end about issuing visas. They should tighten, issuing passports, international passports. They should tighten up our porous borders so that we'll be able to check the influx of these people who are coming in and what are the purposes of their coming in. Then forest guards. The last time I was in here, I did talk about the need, and as a matter of urgency, to activate the forest guard idea. There's need to have it established quickly so that our forests right now are very, very open. So these criminals have a place to stay and without any disturbances. And the communities know about it, and they are not even reporting because one way or the other, they are all benefiting. At the end, they will be the ones to receive the attacks from these criminals.
See, and that is the issue, as it is, right, that you have just pointed out. The matter that some persons are not speaking up because they are either benefiting or maybe because they are not trusting the government, the solution government is bringing to them, and they feel that, these are the persons that they can rely on as it is, since they are not getting protection from government. So it's seeming like we are having a government in another government situation or territory. How do we resolve this matter where people can trust government to speak to government and believe that government will resolve these issues? Because as it is, we are in a dire situation where we need solution as quickly as possible.
In another fora some days ago, I did say that it's not the responsibility of the security forces to get the people to trust the government and believe in the action. It is the responsibility of a ministry and a department of government, talking about the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, and that of the department, the National Orientation Agency, helping to win the hearts of Nigerians to believe in what the government is doing. As we speak, the ministry and these agencies seems not to be doing anything at all. And that is why there's this disconnect between the people and the government. Nobody knows what the government is doing. And so they believe that whatever these criminals tells them or do for them or issue or give to them, the handouts they give to them is what they would trust and believe in. And again, these criminals also they see them carrying out threats against them. And so some of them are bound to just be on the side of the criminals than being on the side of the government and government agencies, because the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, as we speak right now, I don't think it's working. Most Nigerians don't even know who is the minister. Nobody knows what they are doing. I think they are the ones that will sell the policies of government, what the government is doing. But as we speak, nothing is happening. The National Orientation Agencies, so many people have talked about it. Nobody knows what the government is doing. I believe that this government have good policies, they have good plans for the government, but Nigerians don't know about it, so they are bound to trust the non-state actors who just dangle carrots for them, and it's to the detriment of everybody. So the government should wake up the ministry and wake up the agencies to do their work.
And looking at it from another perspective, if you look at the number of people that have been killed under the first 10 months of the Bola Tinubu administration, according to Security Tracker, they said it's 6,931. But then this is quite lower than that of the Buhari same period of 8,356 deaths recorded. When General Sura, former commander, 1 Division, Nigerian Army Brigadier, in Plateau State, shared his own opinion. He said it is due the killings in Kaduna and Plateau State especially is related to the economic hardship, the food crisis, the economic situation we are facing in this country. But others will argue that this has been, an age-long issue, because when you talk about economic hardship, etc., or killings, it has predated several administrations. Where do you stand on this, and how do you think this issue can be dealt with completely, so much so that we'll have peace across the nation?
Yeah, it's very sad because the way we count dead human beings, talking about 6,000, 8,000, is quite disturbing that in a country that we have not declared war out, also to say, we're having Nigerians being killed for things that are something that can be solved and be prevented. Is very, very sad. And it's affecting every fiber of the society. The food scarcity is one of those things that is being affected. I must tell you, because on the plateau we used to have so many things. Today they are not producing any longer because these lands are being taken over by these criminal gangs, and the people cannot access them. So Major General Soro, knowing him very well, he's writing what he's writing what he said is affecting the agricultural activities in those areas. Particularly, we'll acknowledge that Kaduna, Plateau, and Benue states are one of the leading food producing states in this country. Yet they are the ones being burdened with a lot of insecurity. So it's right. But looking at the history of this crisis and where it has predated so many administrations, like you rightly pointed, and several solutions are being talked about. But these things are not being solved because we are not handling the sources or the reasons why these things are being caused. As a matter of urgency, local government administration must come back, and that is one of the quickest solutions we can use. The other one is our forest guards, because if you clear the forests and have the government recognize security agencies there protecting it, we won't see these criminals have a safe place to stay and launch their attacks. And this will help to reduce this number of attacks to maybe very, very minute and isolated cases than we are having it today. If we can get all these things sorted out quickly, then this country will get back again to having food sufficiency. But if we allow it to continue, then it's sad that we'll continue to experience skyrocketing food prices and non-availability of even food prices. I may even get worse because people are getting more disheartened, more disturbed with what is happening.
But we know the debate around this matter of local government autonomy that has happened even right from the previous administration up until now, and it is not something that we can resolve in a matter of hours or even days. Let's perhaps begin to look at the low-hanging fruits that we can quickly address. We know that the government is talking about state police, which is also another matter that we know cannot be addressed in the immediate. What are the immediate solutions we can look at? State governments are still calling on the president to come to their rescue, as it is, with these matters of insecurity.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say again that for me, I think that this problem lies on the purview of the state governors, not the federal government, so to say. The state governors are the chief security officers in their states, and they should take responsibility for whatever is happening. The failure of the local government, active local government administration, is also on the table of the governors. I remember the move for the autonomy. It was the governors who stood against it. And if they want to provide security for their people, then they should not resist what will help to solve this problem. Even if we handle and plug the low-hanging fruits, we need a lasting solution to the problem. And while we do that, the state governors must convey urgently security meetings that will be devoid of any threats, but interaction with the community leaders and the youths. The problem is that in some of all these places, the community leaders can't even control these youths because the youths feel that they have more benefit associating with criminals and criminal activities. And secondly, they also have drugs that will fuel their energy to commit these crimes. And that is just the problem. You see, until we get all these things resolved, having a very holistic and sincere dialogue and discussions on this issue, why should I attack you and why should you attack me back? This thing must be discussed effectively. It's not just leaving it that the federal government, like it's being done today. The state governors are not doing anything to resolve all these things. They're only talking about federal government, and that cannot solve it. Then secondly, talking about the state police issue, I have said it several times again that wouldn't even solve this problem we're having now, because we'll have some kind of bigger problem, in terms of political control of the activities of this state police. Knowing the kind of state governors we have today, because the state governors seem not to be sensitive to the yearnings of their people, but rather to protect themselves. So we have kind of a regime protection than protection of the people. And that will worsen the situation we're having today. I believe that for immediate, they should have discussions, sincere discussions, not with threats. The natives must not threaten those who they call settlers or those they call people visitors on power. No, the settlers, the visitors must also acknowledge that, listen, we have to live in harmony with the people who are accommodating us. People must be able to sincerely interact and agree to live in peace. Without that, there's no other solution that will solve it. But the governors are not interested in doing this because it seems that some of them are benefiting from the crisis because right. Nobody knows how much they are spending on the security votes. And these are part of the issues that needs to be queried sincerely.
Because of our time, let me quickly chip this in. In support of the United Nations Office of Counterterrorism, the President will today open the African Counterterrorism Summit in Abuja with the theme Strengthening Regional Cooperation and Institution Building to Address the Evolving Threat of Terrorism. Quickly, what are your expectations? What do you think the benefit this will bring to us as a country? Very quickly.
Yeah, it will bring a lot of benefit because terrorism is one of the major crises that we are experiencing. Africa is experiencing, the whole world is experiencing, and in Africa particularly, the other countries in Africa look up to Nigeria to solve this because of the successes of our military in recent times in handling the issue of terrorism. Nigerian armed forces have played a leading role in taking care of this effectively, even in a shorter time. But we must also get the government to be able to, what are those indices, what are those factors that fuel terrorism? These are the things. Extremism is either religious extremism or political extremism. These are part of the things that needs to be resolved effectively.
All right, we'll have to leave the conversation here now. Our time is up. Patrick Agbambu, President, CEO, Security Watch Africa Initiatives, Security and Public Safety Expert. Thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you very much.
Right, this is where we draw the curtains on the program.